Now, going on to the political part of the podcast, you have Vivek Ramaswamy beating Ron DeSantis in the polls, and Trump is cheering him on. Now, Trump is cheering in regard to a recent specific poll about the Republican primary. So these are polls where you're asking Republicans, as well as some independents, who do you want to represent the Republican Party? Who do you want to be the nominee for the next president of the United States to go compete, presumably go debate? Well, I don't know if they'll debate this time because they're both, well, mental states, something to be questioned. But who you're going to send out for the Americans to vote on. So you have this poll coming in. Trump is at 60%. Again, this is a primary poll. You also have Vivek at 13%, and Ron DeSantis is down at 8%. Now, Trump actually used his Truth, which is I believe he's a partial owner. It's a social media company, which a lot of his followers and fans are a part of as well. It's called Truth Social. And on that app, Truth, which is the word they use instead of tweeting, he said, and again, I apologize if this hurts anyone's ears, but it's a little fun, so we'll try it out. I forgot I should get a wig, but we'll do what we have right now. He said, quote, "It's overrun to sanctimonious. Now in third place, Ramaswamy in second, Armin Research." Trump also said, "Go home to Florida, Ron, and work on the insurance costs. Second highest, the highest in the nation," unquote. Yeah, I'm sorry, that probably hurt many people's in the audience's ears, but it was worth the attempt, some might say. Now, it is interesting to see DeSantis just continuing to crash in the polls, which he started off pretty promising. In terms of his success as a governor, his political success, he had a pretty good track record. The first time he won governor of Florida, he won by less than 1%, which is razor thin in politics. He went on, the next time he was running for re-election, he won by around 20%. That type of margin of victory is unprecedented. The Republican Party could learn a thing or two from him, at least back then. Because it seems I don't know if he changed advisors or his team, but he had a lackluster announcement. So he went on, at the time, his so-called Twitter, and he verbally announced he was running in a room, or the virtual room on Twitter. I think they call it Twitter Spaces, now X Spaces or something like that, which was pretty lackluster because, again, a majority of communication is body language. Going on a radio show or a glorified radio show to announce, and again, everyone was speculating that he's going to announce it already. So it was so lackluster that I think he lost a lot of support then. And then he also proceeded to make a campaign, or rather, someone on his team made a tweet, and they also had a campaign note where they used AI to do a deep fake of Trump. So they actually had Trump hugging the Dr. Fauci, and it said on the screen, "Real Trump." But they lied. They used deep fakes and AI to make that. So I believe he lost a lot of support then because you're obviously losing your authenticity. And again, this was like him tweeting directly to DeSantis, but a lot of people saying if he was more of an upright candidate or had more integrity, he would have immediately said to his campaign, hey, or released a statement saying, hey, I didn't approve this. I don't agree with these deepfakes. We need to get them out of politics. There's no upside to them. It's just further obfuscating the truth and you're confusing voters. But he did nothing. So again, he's either disconnected, so he doesn't know, which is an issue, or he knows and he doesn't care. Neither of those outcomes are a positive thing. Now, Vivek, I think he is increasing his favorability, and I greatly appreciate his background. He's an entrepreneur. He built up a very successful pharmaceutical company. His family is from India, so he has some international travels and experiences, quite literally achieving the American dream and building a business from the ground up. That's awesome. He's also very articulate with all of his ideals. And more importantly, he gives you examples of exactly how he will achieve his goals, which in politics is unprecedented. Usually you'll just have some cliche bureaucrat left and right, or they just go on the screen and go, we need to get Americans back to work. And the idiots in the audience go, yay! Okay, that's great, but how will you actually do that? Now, Vivek has very articulately said when asked, well, you say you want to, drain the swamp. You want to get rid of the bureaucrats and the lifetime career politicians. You want to get rid of that. You want to trim the fat from the federal budget. We agree. How will you do that? And he will sit down. He will actually articulate, as a president, here are the executive powers you have. Here are the levers I'm going to pull. Here are the mechanisms I will use to achieve those outcomes. I've yet to see any other presidential candidate, left and right, center, have that type of articulate vernacular to get their stuff done and communicate it, more importantly, to the voters. So that's why I particularly think he's going to have an increase in the polls. Also, smart of him, he's not insulting Trump. And I say that because the people who whoever's the Republican nominee, they're going to need the Trump supporters. And there are some Trump supporters who they are only Trump. They'll never vote for anyone else. A lot of people who are independent voted for Trump. A lot of people who are in the right as well, obviously. But there are some people who are fans of Trump, but if Trump doesn't get the nominee, either because he's fighting a multi-tiered front where he has to be in court physically, and physically speaking, that's being hurt as well because he has to spend money to put out those fires. Whether or not they're legitimate charges or not, he has to spend resources to fight them. So if he doesn't get the nominee, you're going to need those voters. So Vivek has not insulted Trump, and a lot of them, they identify with Trump. By insulting Trump, you're de facto insulting them. I think Vivek, he understands this, so he's not insulting Trump, and he is defending Trump, where it makes sense, I believe. Now, this is also I think it will help him out as well. And he also is almost like, he has a lot of similarity to Trump. They both built businesses. One, you can debate how well they articulate their ideals, but there's a lot of parallels. Now, given, again, he's old, 13% is not great. He's not beating Trump in the polls right now. I would venture to bet, though, it might be a good argument for a VP. I think Trump really needs someone who could help level him out. Like any good relationship, from business or personal, there's a lot of benefit to have someone who balances you. Whether you have different approaches to solving a problem or different, perhaps, communication skills. Now I actually need to check this really quick. The only detriment would be, where's Vivek headquartered? So where's Vivek, or what state is he from? Vivek Ramaswamy. Perfect. Okay, so looks like he's from Ohio. Perfect. So he's also raised in Ohio. It looks like he may still have residency, hopefully. Now, I say that because politically speaking on the chessboard, you never have and this is as far as I can tell, you never have a president and a vice president from the same state. Because it doesn't make sense, because you really want to have local support. So that's why when Trump was first running back in 2016, or subsequently before he became president, he chose Mike Pence because Pence was from a purple state of Indiana, where I believe they've gone back and forth a couple times, voting for Republicans and Democrats. Having a VP in another state, that makes a lot more sense, because then presumably you can garner support from that area and win 2 states. The one where the president is from, or the wannabe president nominee, as well as the VP. Which again is another reason why there's no reason for Trump to team up with DeSantis. Not only are they insulting each other, which again isn't good because you're going to insult some of the voters who identify with them, but they're also both from Florida. I know Trump, he's a New Yorker as well, but he famously has his resort in Mar-a-Lago, and that's where most of his residency is. Tactically speaking, it doesn't make sense to have 2 people from Florida going for the VP and the president. Tactically speaking, it would be a poor move on the political chessboard, so to say. So it's interesting that Trump is praising Vivek. I think Vivek is doing a brilliant job, and I think he'd be a great contender for a VP. Politically speaking, I think that'd be a great way for Trump to have someone who's very articulate with the public, who is he can smooth the edges around a tough message, perhaps. I think that might be beneficial to Trump, politically speaking. It'll be interesting to see what decisions they make, but as I always say, time shall tell. Thank you, everyone, for taking the time to tune in today. Trying to get, again, to 3,000 subscribers by the end of August, so you can click that button. I greatly appreciate it. Also, don't forget to take the time to like and comment. Those things also really help with the algorithm to get the video shared. I also appreciate your feedback. It helps make the channel better and better. Helps improve the technologies, whether I'm putting the prompters on my monitors in front so I could keep eye contact a little bit better, or it's whether me being a little bit more bombastic with my hand gestures and my voice, and even working to try to slow down my voice, which, again, is something I'm always trying to work on more and more. All the feedback is greatly appreciated. Also, don't forget to tell your family, tell your friends, tell your coworkers, heck, tell your enemies, tell anyone and everyone. Just stay safe and fight the good fight.